Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today we got to talk about what is going down in Springfield, Ohio. This small town of around formerly 60,000 people has been inundated with an influx of illegal migrants, asylum fraudsters, and maybe some legitimate asylum seekers from the nation of Haiti largely, and now this town, again of 60,000, is of 80,000 because 20,000 of them are these migrants, and there are disastrous consequences as of right now, and absolutely crazy third world types of behaviors being reported across this particular area. And we have clips from their city council meeting or town hall, whatever you want to call it, that support these ideas. Now we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
Now, I want to make something 100% clear right off the top. This is not a story about hating migrants, illegal migrants, asylum seekers, or anything like that. And Haitians in particular, Haitian Americans, this has nothing to do with you. I just attended a wedding for a woman who is a Haitian American that I've known for over a decade, and she honored myself and my wife by sitting us basically in one of the best seats in the house in terms of our table, which was arguably a better seat than her own family got. So look, while I am going to be pointing out that some of these behaviors are in fact third world behaviors, the fact of the matter is the problems are at the United States border. The issues are with the United States federal government because they let these people in unvetted, dump them on this town of 60,000, and just expect them to deal with it.
I would in fact make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
And in reality, if you had the opportunity to leave somewhere as terrible as Haiti to come to Ohio and receive a bunch of welfare that gives you better status in a lot of cases than American citizens, you would probably do that. We have to change the incentive structure, not just go after the people and their absolutely ridiculous behaviors. Secondly, there is a viral photo that is going around of this man holding this animal, and I just want to point out that the fact checkers will ding the crap out of me for saying that this is Springfield, Ohio. Apparently, this is another town in Ohio, and that guy is not Haitian. So other migrants are also doing similar things with the local wildlife that aren't necessarily Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Good job on the fact check, guys.
One Ohio suburb is getting bigger, and it's got population growth stemming from the immigrant community. The mayor here in Springfield, Ohio says that is taxing his city's resources.
I used to say that USA for me, it's you start again.
Rose Joseph starting again in Springfield, Ohio. She left Haiti in 2020 as the country declined into chaos with virtually no working government and gang violence ruling the street.
There is a lot of security issues in Haiti, gunshot, kidnapping. Asian people are not safe in Haiti.
Because of the chaos in the nation of Haiti, a lot of these Haitian asylum seekers, refugees, whatever you want to call them, were given temporary protective status in the United States of America that actually allows them to work a bit faster than your Venezuelan migrants or your other migrants that are coming through the southern border. And some of them came directly via boat, but a lot of them also came, if you'll remember, through the Mexico border.
We heard a lot about work opportunities in Indiana and Ohio.
She's been in Springfield, a Dayton suburb, as a social worker for more than 2 years and connected with the Haitian community here.
Folks came here because they were looking for jobs.
Springfield's mayor says those immigrants are straining his city's resources.
But we're saying anywhere between 15 and 20,000 immigrants is what we're seeing within our community.
In a town of what population?
60,000.
Rob Rue says his police and fire departments are staffed for 60,000 people. He needs more cops and firefighters to handle the steadily increasing population.
We need to hire 10 to 15 more on each of the departments.
So right here, you see the crux of the problem. In a very short period of time, Springfield, Ohio has received 15 to 20,000 migrants. Now, needless to say, even if these people are working, they're not necessarily contributing a whole lot in terms of tax dollars. But more crucially, in a time where police recruitment is down, inflation is up, and all of that, you are in a situation where you have a police department that's only set up for 60,000 people and likely was understaffed due to the George Floyd effect, as is the fire department. On top of that, because these Haitian migrants are more criminal than the general population in Springfield on average, you probably need more than just a proportional increase in police officers. And again, I'm not trying to denigrate Haitians or anything like that. You just have to look at the criminal numbers from these people and deal with the realities as you see them on the ground. So here you have a guy, again, who doesn't necessarily look like he's just against migrants wholesale or against Haitian migrants wholesale, but he's had all these people dumped on him with the promise of jobs and opportunities, and they just don't have the space for them right now in this moment so suddenly.
Our school systems are strained. Our healthcare system's strained.
Rue blames the country's immigration policies.
We're not picking on a party. We're saying the policy's broken, the policy needs fixed, and it's hurting cities like ours.
Rue says it's not a lack of compassion. He says it's a lack of dollars behind his call for help.
If you were to come to our town, you would find people that actually care about the residents here, care about folks that actually are coming into the community, and we want to make sure they're taken care of. We've just been overwhelmed with this.
Right here, this guy's saying, look, it's not that we don't care about these people. It's not that we don't want to help. And we're not trying to blame any political party, even though the party to blame is the Democratic Party, the Open Borders Party, the party that decided to stage a coup against their president that allowed open borders and install the vice president, who is the border czar, who let these people in and is now promising more amnesty. But he's like, listen, I'm going to stay politically correct in that and just point out that we don't have a lot of money.
Rose Joseph says she and others in the Haitian community here are not trying to be a burden, just working to find a better life.
We are here to work. We are here to maybe start our life again.
So look, they cut to the Haitian social worker and she says, look, we're here to work. We're here to build a better life for ourselves and all of that. And again, on its surface, I'm not objecting to this. And if it wasn't for the fact that we have all these fraudulent asylum entries, I would say, honestly, this temporary protective status makes sense to a certain degree for people who are fleeing Haiti because Haiti is an absolute disaster zone. That being said, I would still want these people to be kind of housed and taken care of in neighboring countries. Obviously, the Dominican Republic has no interest in doing so, but if they land in Central America and they travel all the way up through the border, like many of them have done, they should be trying or attempting to stay in those nations because, again, they're claiming that they're fleeing the gang warfare and all these different issues and the collapse of the government, which definitely exists, but that doesn't necessarily mean you get your first choice of alternative nation. And again, the residents of Springfield are suffering the consequences. On top of that, we do have instances of third world type of behaviors, and I want to highlight that from the city council meeting because we're seeing this stuff.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lisa Hayes, and I am a resident of Springfield, Ohio, and I'm also a registered voter. Okay, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm a great-grandmother. I have family here in this town. You know, it's the first time I've ever spoke at the commission meeting, and I'm going to try to make it a good talk with you. Okay, I would like to know how many of you sitting up there tonight go into the grocery stores here in the city, Walmart, here in the city, to do your shopping. I'm going to tell you, 64 years old, and I don't know what kind of label you can put on this, but I'm taking my cart down the grocery aisle, and I have 3 immigrants strapped across the aisle. Seen me coming, would not budge, wouldn't even, and I said, excuse me. Maybe they didn't understand what I was saying, but I'm sure they understood that I was trying to get through that aisle. So I have no recourse now but to bust through it. I'm not afraid to do so. You know, I would like to see them have some common respect, some common decency. Do not try to bully your way through Springfield, Ohio. It's not going to work out well.
So this woman right here kind of starts off with something that I would consider to be a comparatively minor issue, but I think it's important to emphasize that one of the things that we need to do better in the United States of America, and by the way, traditionally, we've been very good at this, is assimilate the people who come into this country. If you're going to give them this status, you should have them respect the norms and customs in the United States of America. This is crazy. The idea that you're going to line up and block aisles in the grocery to the point where this woman has to push through you physically in order to get through, that's insane in every possible way. But it just goes to show you that even on a minimal scale, we have differences in values and differences in manners. And to be clear, I've actually seen this represented in other communities in the United States of America. People know that I grew up in and around a lot of Asian people, and since their respect and whatnot tends to defer to older people, one of the things that you will notice is that people will let doors slam right in front of you if you happen to be younger than them. So I remember I would tell people that I would live in a building with Chinese landlords. Now again, the way I was brought up is that if you see somebody coming at the door, man or woman, makes no matter, at least hold the door open for them if they're reasonably close. Again, that's a minor thing, a minor issue, but it's something that you develop through integration. And I will point out that Asian youths or Chinese young people that were raised in our K through 12 system and whatnot and were more assimilated than their parents would follow the more American version of things. So yeah, there's like little manners things that bother people, but this one is a bit above the example that I just gave with Chinese immigrants.
I have a 20-year-old granddaughter who works 2 jobs, pays city tax. I have a 23-year-old grandson who also pays city tax and federal and state and all the other stuff. She works 2 jobs. She's pregnant. It took us 4 months to get Medicaid for that young lady, and she couldn't have any of her tests done.
So this woman right here talks about her granddaughter who works 2 jobs. She's also pregnant, and she is supposedly eligible for Medicaid, but she's having a lot of trouble applying. And of course, those are not city council issues and all of that, but the point of the story is that eventually when she is told that she is actually covered by Medicaid, what she ultimately ends up discovering is that they can't get to see medical professionals anyway, and that is because the lines are bursting out the door because all these different Haitians end up taking up these services.
That morning, she received an automated phone call that she was covered by Medicaid since August 15th. All of a sudden, now she's covered. All of a sudden, now she can get the help. But we can't get through the doors of JFS to do anything. We can't get through it. The line is so long. And that's what we have done here in the city. We have just brought too many daggone people to come in here and be able to apply for free stuff. And here we are working, paying those taxes every week for what? What? So she can't get any help? So we can't get through the doors of Social Security so I can file for retirement? Doors are too, it's packed up there all the time. Thank you.
They crowd them out quite literally physically in terms of these scenarios because, again, town of 60,000 gets a sudden surge of 20,000 people. They all have medical needs. They're all 100% on the public healthcare system, on the public dole, and that creates major problems for her. Again, these are the minor criticisms, the minor critiques. We're going to escalate as we go through these different various people.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property.
This woman right here, also an elderly woman, is talking about how she had to deal in the past with homeless people trying to get them off the property and essentially ended up working out a deal because even back then, the city of Springfield, Ohio was just not good enough in resolving those issues for her. However, she describes the Haitian situation as a much more serious, much more difficult problem for her to deal with. And honestly, it starts to get tragic as you listen further and further into what she's saying is going on.
But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to.
So yeah, these Haitians are throwing garbage on her property. They won't get off her property. She feels intimidated in her own home, and her elderly husband, because these are elderly people, don't feel like they can adequately defend their property. And they've called the city over and over again, and there's nothing that is being done. And again, It's their property. They own it. These Haitians should respect their property, especially when they're guests in this country living off of their tax dollars, but they don't seem to have that respect, and it is the citizen that has to put up with this at every turn. They're forced to pay for these people, they're forced to provide for these people, but they're also forced to take disrespect and humiliation from these people and the destruction of their property and the destruction of their peace of mind.
My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally.
And that's really sad right there. After 45 years, he's like, it's time to go. We cannot live here anymore. And they have to abandon their home that they've been in for a very long time due to the fact that these newcomers are here that, again, are here on a temporary status, temporary protective order that shouldn't be here long term, but they're creating such a problem, such a commotion, they're forcing these people out.
I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed, but who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay.
So she makes a good point and finishes with a compelling question. I understand that these people are under temporary protective status. I get that they need protection because Haiti is an absolute hellhole. But the fact of the matter is she needs protection. The citizens need protection, and there's nobody protecting them. And they're ready to go. They're ready to pack up and move on. So what you're doing right now is trading a tax-paying homeowner for some people who, by the way, are committing crimes, vandalizing property, driving property down, which will eventually drive property taxes down. And that should not be a trade that any of our representatives are willing to make. But we see time and time again, they bend over backwards for the migrants and they just shaft the citizen over and over again.
I'm 28 years old and I'm a social media influencer, and I just be on TikTok and stuff. I do YouTube. I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun, because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans, they're running into buildings, they're running into they flipping cars in the middle of the street, and I don't know how like y'all can be comfortable with this. Like I don't know like who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there.
Now look, a lot of people's response to those old ladies that are suffering, that are having their property torn up and whatnot, will say, evil white racism, shut up Karen, shut up with your evil white racism. But we cut to this individual right here, and obviously he is a black person, and he's talking about what's going down, but I will give him credit because he gives the caveat that he's not angry at the immigrants, he's angry at the system that supports them, that aids and abets them, but he compares and contrasts somebody who is a citizen who needs help from the system but can't get it as these Haitians are being bussed in.
And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here, because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. So
this is the other issue. And by the way, I've seen a bunch of different reports from citizens about how ducks and geese and whatnot are gone. Now, many on the left have decided to respond to this by posting photos of Don Jr. hunting ducks in, again, a hunting scenario to basically say, you do the same thing, which is one of the most asinine responses you could possibly imagine. Now, I do want to point out that there's a bunch of different reports that are being linked to this that shouldn't be linked to this. Like the photo that I talked about in the opening of this video, there is an arrest report that occurred where a woman is accused of eating her neighbor's cat. But to be clear, that arrest report is from Canton, Ohio, and that person appears to be a regular, ordinary black American.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
There's also this video from Howard Beach, New York, where this man is holding a seagull, and this is from Howard Beach, New York, and I don't think I need to tell you that that guy is also not Haitian. What I am basing this on is the fact that you have residents talking about the ducks being plucked from their local parks, from their local ponds, and that's what they have an issue with. And this is what is being obfuscated by all of these different videos that have nothing to do with the situation. On top of that, there is a Facebook report of a neighbor saying that their cat was hung by a Haitian neighbor, and it was hung in a way that was similar to how you would hang a hunted animal. This is where the cats thing in Springfield comes from. I will await more information, some photos and videos before I get into that. But as of right now, there's a lot of bad stuff that is not related to the issue at hand that is being portrayed in the public as related to the issue at hand. Again, this is not something that's normally done in the United States of America, but it's probably very common in Haiti. Remember, we saw reports of cannibalism in that country that these people fled, and it's unacceptable behavior.
Y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get like a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns, and they look for dope, and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for like going left to center and like a couple miles over, like y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive, since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic. They need to, y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive, because it's getting bro, I'm getting thousands of views on these, and it's going to get bigger, and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a t-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets, and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is.
And I know the first reaction from the left is to scream evil white racism, but look who is delivering the message. Obviously an American-born or very Americanized black person, if he happens to be an immigrant. Don't want to prejudge just based on how he's presenting himself. And the issue that he's bringing up is not skin tone or anything like that. It is cultural differences. And he's really angry that all these different resources are being used to police and ticket the citizen for minor traffic violations, but you have people going in and killing the ducks, cutting their heads off, and that is something that they're supposed to accept as normal. Again, it is one thing to bring a lot of people in as guests when their country is totally torn asunder. Maybe 20,000 for a town of 60,000 is a bit much, if I'm being perfectly honest, but that's one thing. It is another thing to allow them to do all of the crazy things that they're used to in their culture and not expect them to respect the values of your culture. I mean, think about it. If you knew a friend and their house got burned down and you wanted to help them by allowing to stay in your property, but then that friend insisted, because in his house he walks around naked all the time, that he was going to do that in your home in front of your kids, you would not allow it. You would regulate on that person and you would say, my roof, my rules. You're asking me for help. You're begging for assistance. You're going to have to follow these basic codes of conduct. But for migrants, we just allow them to do whatever the hell they want, and we expect the citizens to put up for it and pay for it. We want these people to come in. They should be asking for help, asking what they can do in our society to better help us and thank us for the assistance. But instead, they just expect all these citizens to roll over for them as if they're an invading army, when, if you'll recall, these are people who are fleeing a crappy country that sucks, and instead of changing to adapt to the country that they chose to come to out of all the other options that they had, they want to act the same way that they do over there, and that's unacceptable.
Y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. We got to do something, bro. It's kids out here getting hurt. Like, only reason I even went on here and said something about it is because somebody told me they walking from the school and a Haitian almost ran into them. And who is getting paid? Like, how much money is y'all really getting paid, like, to bring them over here? Like,
so this guy right here is talking about all the crazy driving habits and all the other issues and all the cultural clashes and people getting hurt, and that's why he's here. And the thing is, calling out these representatives for getting this money, this support, the nonprofits and all that for bringing them in, I think is good. I think it's sage advice, but they have clearly taken on more than they could chew, because this town is totally overwhelmed by the migrants as well, and now these government officials are complaining about it.
I know it's deeper than them. I know that's where they come from, and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here. And if y'all just getting paid from it and then y'all ain't doing nothing about it, I think that's super weird, bro. Y'all got to stand on business. Y'all got to really, like, step up. Like, it's lame, bro. Like, for real.
Thank you for your comments.
Look, I like this guy, and he apparently is a YouTuber that's filming this stuff, that's on the scene before the cops, because he really lays out the case very succinctly, which is why I wanted to close with him, because yeah, that might be acceptable behavior, totally permissible in their country, and by the way, their country was suffering. Obviously, people don't turn to cannibalism out of nowhere, so yeah, when they see ducks and they think free and easy food, let's go get it, you have to correct that behavior, and he's right. You can't allow that to be done over here. This isn't a situation where we say all cultures are equal. No, they're not equal. You came to a better society, supposedly to better yourselves, so you're gonna have to, and by the way, we expect you to, fit into the norms of this country. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is this overblown and evil white racism, or is the proof in the pudding in the taste? But unfortunately, that pudding is duck pudding because they're killing the ducks in the park, and that's disgusting. Let me know your comments down in the comments below. If you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the Haitian takeover of Springfield, Ohio. Till next time.